everyone and welcome to PC Academy on this lovely sunny Wednesday morning. I'm just waiting for a delivery from Parcel Force so I can make a start on building the custom PC that's been ordered. There's a bit of work going on outside that's been going on all week. They've had the road dug up, which is causing a little bit of chaos to the cars, long queues, and also some people not wanting to try and turn into my car park. So it's affecting me a little bit. However, we're getting on the better side now. I'll take a quick look at this. So as you can see there, they're currently on with tarmacking. So that's a good sign. It means that they're actually finishing up. So hopefully by the end of play today, the road should be back open, which will be good news for everyone. So we'll just wait for this delivery to arrive and then we'll make a start on the video of building the custom PC. So all the components have now arrived for the custom build. We're going to be building this on a 12th gen Intel i7 with a 2TB Western Digital Black NVMe drive, 16 gig of Crucial RAM, an RTX 3060 card, a high-end MSI power supply. This is going to be the case that we're going to be using because the customer only wants black. He doesn't want any RGB lighting, so we're going to be going for that. A decent MSI Pro motherboard, and the cooling will be dealt with by the Corsair H100X dual radiator and fan. So these are the components for the build. So let's get straight to it and start putting this together. So at this stage we're going to install this MSI modular PSU, 750 watt. We're just going to connect the cables that we're going to require for this build. There's no point fitting all these and then tying them all up within the case. So we'll go ahead now and just connect the cables that we require to this PSU for this build. Okay, so always check the cabling that you're going to be using. That's obviously for the motherboard. This is in 2 sections, and if we look, it's already labelled motherboard on the PSU, so these should marry up when connected. Okay, so that's going to go there, and then the other connector into the motherboard here. So for the graphics card that we're going to be using, we're only going to need 1 set of cables to give us an 8-pin, so the other will be a spare. We won't need any IDE type cables. That's going to be a SATA, which we are going to need, especially for the radiator pump, so we'll need that, and also an 8-pin CPU. So that should be all we need. The other cables should be surplus to requirements now, so we'll pack them away and get these ones connected into the power supply. I'm going to go off the corresponding labelling. You probably don't need to do, in all fairness, but I'm going to do. So we're going to get the CPU connected to the CPU, and we've got a PCI graphics card one. And it does state VGA 1, so I think we'll go with VGA 1. And then this is just to give us a SATA connection, as I said, for the liquid pump. So again, we'll just go into any of the peripherals. And there we go, that's the cabling in. Let's get the power supply into the case. So because I know this PC is going to be placed directly onto the floor, which could be carpeted, and there are vents here in the top of the area where the power supply goes, and you can fit these power supplies actually upside down. The way I see it, I don't suppose it is upside down, but with the fan at the top, that's how I'm going to fit it, so that there's no way this can be blocked underneath should the customer put this on a carpet. So the power supply is nearly pushed into place. What I'm going to do now is get this plate connected so that I can, when I push it back, I can just screw it straight to the case. So because I've turned the power supply upside down, I've also had to rotate the bracket. So we'll get this into place. So that's the bracket now in, and we'll just tighten the screws to the power supply. So at this stage, I'm going to feed the connector to the top of the motherboard now, because once I get the radiator and fans in place, I'm not going to have much room to work. So we need to get that connector in now. Okay, so that's now in place, so I can actually go ahead now and start getting the radiator mounted. So that's the pump now secured down. We've got a SATA power connector here and the other connector that goes to the CPU header on the motherboard. So we'll get that connected now and the SATA cable pushed through the grommets at the back, and then move on to fitting the graphics card. We've got the motherboard now connected in both areas, the radiator and fans connected, wiring for the case, audio. We're going to fit the graphics card now. We've got the cable in here for that. As this is a case that isn't going to have a glass panel or anything, you're not actually going to see inside the case, so we don't need to be as hypercritical at hiding all the wires from view, because you're not going to see them anyway. We will make them tidy, obviously, but we're not going to spend hours making sure that you can't see the wires. However, I do think when it's finished, it will still actually look very neat. So let's go ahead now and get the graphics card fitted. So we've got the RTX 3060 card, so let's get this fitted, as it's a really nice card. Okay, so that's in place. Let's get that screwed down. Okay, so at this stage, everything is hooked up. I haven't over-tightened anything down or tidied up the wiring fully yet. We're going to get it booted, make sure that it fires up and that it boots to BIOS at this stage. Then we can start tidying things up and screwing them down. So let's get the power cable connected and let's see what happens. Here goes. So we have life on the PC. Is the monitor going to boot into BIOS? This is the worrying moment. And there we have it. So that is good. Well, at least we now know that the board is working, the RAM, the processor. So we'll go ahead now, get everything tidied up a little bit more and then start to get Windows installed on this. So that's the custom desktop PC now finished and has been collected by the customer. It was a nice build to actually do, very quick, and I like the end result. The case itself was chosen by the customer, and I have to say, in the flesh, it is actually a nice case with plenty of space inside. So as I said, that's now being collected, and hopefully the customer will get some years of use out of that. I am currently on with the HP all-in-one that I did show a little clip of in a previous video. Fortunately, the customer has lost the power supply for it, and on those particular models you can't just use any PSU charger because the amps and the voltages are completely different, and if you don't have the exact model, they will just beep when you plug them in. So I've ordered a replacement PSU for it. Once that arrives, then I'll get that video completed. So until the next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.